All right, y'all, it is time to learn together. We are here to learn together. How Elon Musk got rich, the $230 billion myth. So this is a video from More Perfect Union. They do this thing called The Classroom. The guy talking here is named Second Thought. He's, I guess, a creator named Second Thought. I have not watched this, so let's watch and learn together here about how he got rich.
I'm no saint, but I generally try to do the right thing.
Are you sincerely trying to save the world?
I'm trying to do good things. Good idea for an electric jet. Impossible, my middle name, I suppose.
Elon Musk has a pretty big pitch. He's the good billionaire using his wealth to protect the future of humanity. It's gotten him something most billionaires don't have, a fan base.
I've never signed a life-size version of it.
First I want to say, I love you.
A 2021 poll showed Musk with a 50% approval rating, way higher than his fellow billionaires. This popularity has done very well for him.
Musk is now this.
By the way, it's true that people on the left generally, since we're skeptical of corporations and big business, there's also a skepticism, like an innate skepticism of billionaires. And I think that's earned, to be honest, because there was this massive PR campaign around Bill Gates for most of my life, and I'm sure a lot of you remember this as well, where he was portrayed as like, well, this is the benevolent billionaire, this is the good billionaire, this is the guy who's changing the world with everything that he's done. And then that all came crumbling down, particularly with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. That, people realize, oh shit, he's going around with these people everywhere. And, why so close with the CEO of Elite Pedos Inc.? Like, why? What are you doing here? And it was very clear, this guy's up to no good. Now, beyond that, we also learned with the with COVID, Homeboy was blocking the lifting of the patent protections for the pharmaceutical companies. So, in effect, Bill Gates was sentencing the developing world to not having access to the life-saving vaccines, which probably led to hundreds of thousands, if not millions, more deaths than needed to happen. And he did it to protect pharmaceutical profits, to protect the intellectual property rights or the patents. So that myth of him as like, this is the good billionaire, shattered. And I'm old enough to remember when he was the darling of the media, Bill Gates was. And now we're seeing something that's somewhat similar with Elon Musk. He's got a great, he's been great at the PR and promoting himself, and he has a strong following. He really does, as far as billionaires go. But look, that was the plan from the beginning. Like, he's trying to market himself a certain way, portray himself a certain way, and a lot of that is myth making, and the reality is very different. So let's watch more.
7th richest man in the world.
Musk is now the 4th richest man in the world.
Elon Musk is now the world's richest person again, according to Forbes.
We took a deep look into Musk's entire career, court documents, SEC filings, and interviews to break down the story Elon tells about himself and how he leveraged it to accumulate wealth and power. This is The Classroom from More Perfect Union, and today we're going to look at how Elon Musk got rich. Let's skip Musk's South Africa childhood. Critics say he inherited his money from his father's emerald mine, and Elon says that's not true. He claims he rejected his abusive father's ill-begotten wealth and came to North America as a teen with $2,000 to put himself through college. He knew he wanted to work with the internet.
The only way to get involved with the internet in '95 that I could think of was to start a company, because they weren't a lot of companies to go and work for. So I thought, well, we've got to make something that's going to return money very, very quickly.
Elon joined forces and funds with his brother Kimball. They drummed up some cash from investors, including $20K from their father, and started Zip2, a map and local listing company. Zip2 eventually planned to merge with CitySearch, but Elon wouldn't have been in charge. That did not sit well with him. At the time, a CitySearch executive said CitySearch wanted to focus on customers and financiers, while Musk wanted to focus on general visibility. Visibility for him.
I'd like to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. That'd be cool.
These disagreements led to the deal falling apart. This is a pattern for Elon, a need for sole credit and control. It's a huge part of his story. Zip2 sold.
Look, I will say, and we'll watch the rest of it, but that alone is not enough of a, like a burn. Like, yeah, he wants control. Well, a lot of people want control, and to be fair, a lot of people think when they have control, I'm doing good with this. So, to this point, not too damning, but let's keep watching.
And Elon made $22 million, which he invested in his next project.
I've sunk the great majority of my net worth into X.com, which is the new banking and mutual funds company. So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry.
That quote defines Musk's strategy, promise revolutionary technology, and highlight how he's risking his own money. And he also points out a key element of his success, wooing investors.
Raising $50 million is a matter of making a series of phone calls.
As X.com took shape, investors and the board didn't think Musk had the experience to be CEO, so they brought in Bill Harris. Elon's co-founders were also unhappy. One accused him of promising the sun, moon, and the stars to the media when there was nothing there. Future SEC filings for the company even mention a lack of proprietary technology as a corporate risk. The tech they did have was problematic. For example, there was a bug allowing bad actors to transfer funds from any account in the nation's banking system with just an account number.
Yikes.
A major security flaw. A co-founder was so displeased with Musk, he left and took many employees with him. Musk's reaction? We'll hire more people. Eventually, Musk pushed out CEO Bill Harris and replaced him. With himself. To centralize authority. X.com merged with a competitor, Peter Thiel's Confinity. Confinity owned a piece of technology called PayPal. Musk and Thiel got glowing press coverage, but because PayPal came out of Confinity, a lot of the coverage centered Thiel. According to Ashley Vance's 2015 biography, Musk kept championing the X.com brand, while most everyone else favored PayPal. Eventually, the company scrapped X.com to focus on PayPal, a decision the press gave Musk credit for. But mutiny was brewing. Executive Roelof Botha alleged Musk was hiding serious financial issues from the board. Employees put together a coup. They petitioned the board to fire Musk, and it worked. Musk was fired and replaced with Thiel. Botha said it was just in time. It would have killed the company if Elon had stayed on as CEO for 6 more months. Regardless, Musk hits it big when PayPal eventually sells, $180 million. He had been laying the path for his next move since college.
When I was in college, there were 3 areas that I thought would most affect the future of humanity: the internet, the transition to a sustainable energy and transportation sector, and space exploration, in particular the extension of life to multiple planets. With the capital I got from the sale of PayPal, I was able to go into both those areas.
Enter SpaceX and Tesla. Musk wasn't with Tesla at the start. He invested in a company that...
Musk wasn't with Tesla at the start? Well, that's news to me. I didn't know that. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, the PR campaign is so effective. Even somebody like me who's not the biggest fan of Elon Musk, I thought, well, of course, Elon Musk, Tesla, it's like one and the same. They're synonymous.
Already existed. But most media calls him a founder. What happened? We spoke with Edward Niedermeyer, author of Ludicrous, an in-depth examination of Tesla Motors.
Elon Musk was not one of the original founders of Tesla, right? There was these 2 guys, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who'd actually incorporated the company. Musk came in because he wanted to do the same thing.
But like with his previous companies, Elon was focused on publicity, specifically public perception of himself as the visionary founder.
Part and parcel of being a hot startup, right, is you have to have that sort of charismatic, visionary founder. But it wasn't Elon Musk, it was Martin Eberhard. Eberhard even had a BlackBerry ad where he's being presented just like Steve Jobs as this visionary tech guy. And I think that was exactly the kind of thing that Elon Musk really wanted out of Tesla, as much as anything else. He sent an email saying, like, this is embarrassing, you know, I'm an important part of this company and I want to make sure that I'm included in the coverage. And in these emails that leaked, it makes it very clear that being that guy, being the visionary figurehead of this company was really, really important to him. So shortly after this whole exchange and Musk getting really angry about his lack of prominence in the media coverage, he went and wrote the Top Secret Master Plan blog post. And this was really Musk's coming out party, positioning himself as really that visionary founder for Tesla. One of the really interesting things is that, you know, there's really not a lot in the Top Secret Master Plan, strategically anyway, that Tesla wasn't kind of already planning on doing.
It all culminated in Eberhard's ouster and a series of lawsuits, leading to a settlement with an important stipulation. Musk could legally call himself a co-founder of the company. Musk knew that to acquire more power, he needed to be called co-founder on paper. Musk has long insisted he never wanted to be CEO of Tesla. But after Eberhard's ouster,
they brought in 2 different new CEOs before Musk himself eventually took over.
Musk took over at a rough time, the 2008 financial crisis. Tesla needed an influx of capital. Musk's usual strategies wouldn't work.
The sources of capital that would normally provide that, such as the public markets, the debt markets, they're in shambles.
But a year earlier, Congress passed a $25 billion loan program for the Department of Energy, part of which would go...
Here comes the subsidies, baby. Here they come. At the same time, Elon Musk, he's spoken very negatively about government subsidies, big government deficits, etc. Man, when the subsidies are offered to him, he's all systems go.
To developing low-emission cars. Musk went on a media blitz trying to convince the public that Tesla deserved the loan.
It's helpful to let your congressman and senator know that you think companies like Tesla should get a portion of the ATVM program.
But public approval wouldn't be enough. At the time, Tesla only had 1,500 cars on the road, and hadn't truly proven that they could produce cars en masse or significantly reduce emissions. Tesla was stuck in a catch-22. They needed to show they had the support of other corporate investors, specifically traditional automakers like Daimler, the makers of Mercedes and other cars, but Daimler wouldn't be interested in investing if they didn't get the loan.
He'd announced that the loan was approved before Tesla had even submitted a complete application for the loan.
What? Wow. That is so Trumpian. That's insane. say you have the loan before you even submitted the form to ask for it, and the whole reason is to attract more money from other investors and basically lie to them to do that. Wow.
Let alone received any kind of actual approval for it. By saying that this was a done deal, that gave Daimler the confidence to partner with them. And
I mean, that's just fraud, right? Isn't that just fraud? That's incredible.
having that partnership with a century-old, one of the biggest names in the car business, in turn gave the government the confidence in Tesla's viability to then ultimately give them the loan. And so it's...
It reminds me of something, I forget who said this. Somebody made a great point, forgive me for not remembering who, that oftentimes the people who become the most successful, aka the wealthiest, it's not that they're the most intelligent or they make the best product or whatever. It's that they're the most shameless and they use deceit in the process. It's like, again, to bring back up Bill Gates, he was a vicious monopolist and he snuffed out the competition in very gross and unethical and potentially illegal ways. And so this is Musk just lying in order to secure funding. So he uses that as like a springboard to get the credibility to then attract more investor money. It's really something.
It's this circular trick that Elon plays.
It was more than the money. It was a boost for public and investor relations. Just a few months later, Tesla registered for an IPO. Their SEC filing even admits the loan was essential to the business. In 2013, Tesla paid off the loan in full, to huge fanfare from the media. CNN literally just copied their press release. But Tesla still isn't profitable. Their stated goal is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. But Tesla's actual strategy is exploiting well-meaning government climate programs. Look at carbon credits. Government permits to emit a certain quantity of greenhouse gases. Companies earn carbon credits for reducing emissions and have to spend them when they emit too much. Tesla earns a lot, then sells them to other companies, erasing whatever progress Tesla made. The boost from selling carbon credits led to some of the only profitable quarters Tesla had ever had.
Wow. That's crazy. I did not know that.
They even used to list regulatory credits and automobile sales in the same line in some SEC filings. It allowed Tesla to announce better financials and pull in more investors, retail and institutional. Musk gets paid almost entirely in stock, and he's really good at manipulating the stock's value. He uses the same strategy he used with Daimler and the Department of Energy, announcing funding that might not exist. Like when he tweeted, "Am considering taking Tesla private at 420. Funding secured." You can't just do that. A federal judge determined Elon's tweet had falsely inflated Tesla stock and caused billions in damages.
Wow. He's got a little bit of that like Trumpian pathological liar thing in him.
The COVID pandemic also helped Musk. When the Federal Reserve executed recession-stalling fixes on Wall Street, bankers invested in Tesla. Despite Musk's derision of COVID stimulus checks, Tesla received stimulus money from the government. At the beginning of the pandemic, Tesla stock hovered around $120 a share. In late 2021, a year and a half into COVID, it was worth 10 times that, all of which greatly increased the net worth of the top shareholder, Elon. But to maintain the world-saving myth, he has to look like he doesn't make any money.
My cash balances are very, very low. I simply had loans against my stock, so if Tesla and SpaceX went bankrupt, I would go bankrupt too.
So this is something I happen to know about. There's a good ProPublica report on this. First of all, his true tax rate is super low, just like virtually every other billionaire that they covered in that amazing piece on it. You guys should check that out. Type in ProPublica true tax rate and maybe of billionaires, something like that. It's a great article that goes into detail about it. But Elon Musk, what he does is, and this guy's explaining this now, you borrow against the stock of your company, and that's actually a scheme to avoid paying any taxes because you're not taking that as income, so you don't get taxed like it's income. You're borrowing against the stock, so you're just borrowing money and living off the borrowed money. It's a way to avoid paying taxes, and it's this scheme that's called buy, borrow, die. So it's this giant loophole that Musk exploits and others exploit, and that it's one that should definitely be closed. But of course, as you all know, billionaires give a lot of campaign contributions and basically own the politicians, so the politicians do their bidding.
Most US companies don't allow their executives to take out loans against their stock, but Tesla does, and Musk has taken advantage, borrowing millions of dollars for his personal coffers, using his Tesla stock as collateral. Loans don't count as income in the eyes of the IRS or the public. But even without the loans, in 2021, Musk made 18,043 times the average Tesla employee. Tesla justifies that wild ratio to investors in SEC filings by arguing Elon's worth it. Elon Musk has contributed significantly and actively to us since our earliest days, raising capital, bringing investors, and raising public awareness. Yeah, Tesla's own SEC filings admit that the myth of Elon is inherently tied to the value of the company. If people stop believing in Elon, Tesla loses value, and Elon knows that. He even admits much of Tesla's value is based on a promise.
The overwhelming focus
By the way, when Elon Musk smoked weed on Joe Rogan's podcast, the Tesla stock plummeted. You guys remember that?
is solving full self-driving. That's really the difference between Tesla being worth a lot of money and being worth basically zero.
But full self-driving has yet to be safely implemented, and the latest data suggests it's incredibly unsafe. Tesla's system is nowhere near ready. Regardless, Musk is still wildly wealthy from the promises he's made, and that's also made him very powerful. Elon says his goal is...
We want to
Damn, I didn't know. In 2019, he said full self-driving will be ready by next year.
maximize happiness of the population and propagate into the future as far as possible.
But he's really using that wealth and power as all billionaires do. Not to save humanity, but to crush it. He squashes worker power.
They fired me because...
This is my biggest beef with Elon. I mean, he's also a free speech hypocrite, and he's cracked down on free speech in his personal life quite a bit, among his workers, etc. But also just being viciously anti-union.
I tried to improve the lives of my coworkers and myself. That's why they fired me. Because it wasn't a part of Elon's plan.
And now that he has both power and a soapbox, his dangerous anti-government political beliefs are even more important. Previously, Elon was a liberal darling. Obama's 2015 State of the Union seemed to be written for Musk.
Solar power, Tesla, re-energized space program, astronauts to Mars.
But as soon as Democrats questioned Musk, he changed, lashing out and announcing support for far-right figures and ideas. He likes the politicians willing to support his myth and let him continue building wealth at the expense of the rest of us. He isn't the only billionaire doing this, but his skill at myth building and his massive popularity make him the most dangerous. Musk tells a story of a self-made billionaire using his money to save the world and enrich humanity, but he really built his wealth on the backs of others to enrich himself.
There you go. More perfect union. Breaking down how Elon Musk got rich. I didn't know almost all of that, so very interesting. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.